My name is Bryan Mahoney. I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer here at Arfa. So what do we think about when we're establishing V1 of a digital product? And I think my answer now is going to be informed by 15 years of experience really building branded e-commerce. And at first, early on, it was all about the shopping cart experience and the checkout experience and making sure that they were unique and bespoke, and in some cases kind of over-designed. Over time, repeating that same mistake of not necessarily building product with a really clear view of the events that we wanted to track, thinking semantically, in fact, led us to a place where we start there. What do we want to know, or what do we need to know about a product that we're building that will lead us to believe that it is being successful, and most importantly, allow us to get signal on which direction we need to take it into next. So you often hear in software development land, like, we work in iterations. Well, you want to have some signal, you want to have some data to help guide those different iterations. So if I have traffic and I have sessions and I have conversion, I can start thinking about things like, what is my average order value? That is something that I want to understand from day one. Units per transaction is something that's pretty interesting. So expressed another way, like, how many things did I put into my basket before I ultimately checked out? How long did it take me to check out? So I think oftentimes we'll be focused on cart abandonment, but we need to think about cart behavior too. Some folks are going to want to use the shopping cart as kind of a wish list. So I might build my wish list over a course of a week before I ultimately come back and check out. Maybe I'm looking at product reviews on different sites. So a cart isn't necessarily abandoned after I leave that site for 20 minutes, but it's up to you to define what that experience is going to be like. If I'm thinking about any e-commerce site, be it a commerce site that we're going to ship for the first time, so we're kind of like bringing it to the world, or a more established company that has been selling online for some amount of time, there are well understood metrics, things along the lines of traffic and sessions, average order value, units per transaction. Click to deliver or click to ship is another interesting one that I've increasingly focused on over the last couple of years. If we go one step below, though, what's most important is that we establish those key pillars. So in order for me to be able to report on what a conversion rate is, I need to understand the dimensions that are actually driving that. And so a conversion rate, for example, is conversion over sessions. Well, how am I defining a session? So I think that sometimes we take for granted that a session is what Google Analytics tells us a session is. But as a company, as a direct-to-consumer company, as an e-commerce company, you have an opportunity to define what a session is for you. And what I've learned over the last 20 years working in e-commerce is that everyone defines sessions a little bit differently, and I think that's pretty important to do. So yes, let's identify 5 to 6 key metrics that every e-commerce company needs to have, but it's equally important for us to understand the building blocks that are going to go into those metrics, and that those building blocks be very well understood across the organization.